the Indian Prime Minister took center stage in the heart of America's democracy. In a rare honor demonstrating the deepening India-US ties, Narendra Modi made his second address to the US Congress. Prime Minister Modi received a rousing welcome as he delivered a speech to the Congress, celebrating the growing ties and shared ambitions of the world's two largest democracies. Prime Minister Modi also praised the role of Indian Americans and hailed the US Vice President's Indian roots, drawing applause from congressmen. In a joint statement, US President Joe Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi called on Pakistan to take immediate action to ensure that no territory under its control is used for launching terrorist attacks. Relations between nuclear-armed neighbors India and Pakistan have been tense for years, since British colonial rule in the Indian subcontinent ended in 1947. US Coast Guard confirmed that the 5 people on board a missing submersible died in a catastrophic implosion. This brings a grim end to the international search for the vessel that was lost during a deep-sea expedition to the wreck of the Titanic. An unmanned robot deployed from a Canadian ship discovered the wreckage of Titan on Thursday morning, about 488 meters from the bow of the century-old wreck, 4 kilometers below the surface in a remote area of the North Atlantic. Rescue teams from several countries had spent days searching thousands of square miles of open seas with planes and ships for any sign of the 6.7-meter Titan. Debris from the missing deep-sea submersible carrying 5 people to the wreckage of the Titanic was discovered on Thursday. According to the US Coast Guard, a remotely operated vehicle deployed from a Canadian vessel to the ocean floor discovered the debris field near the Titanic. 5 major fragments of the 6.7-meter Titan were located in the debris field left from its disintegration. These included the vessel's tail cone and 2 sections of the pressure hull. No mention was made of whether human remains were sighted. The van-sized Titan, operated by US-based Ocean Gate Expeditions, began what was to be the 2-hour descent at 8 a.m. on the 18th of June, but lost contact with its support ship. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Ukrainian spies had received information on how Russia was considering to carry out what they called was a terrorist attack at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant involving a release of radiation. Zelensky issued a fresh call to put pressure on Russia to end its occupation of the plant. The plan was seized by Russian troops days after the February 2022 invasion of Ukraine. The Kremlin dismissed Zelensky's allegation of an attack on the plant as another lie. It further said that a team of UN nuclear inspectors had visited the plant and rated everything highly. The EU's top tech enforcer warned Elon Musk that Twitter must have enough resources to moderate dangerous content by the 25th of August this year, or they will risk being in violation of the EU's landmark rules to rein in big tech. EU Commissioner said that he told the Twitter team, with Musk joining by video conference from New York, that there are a few areas that will be critical immediately when the regulation will be enforceable. This would be especially everything related to child abuse, which is a very hot topic for US in Europe. Also, disinformation in elections. Parent company Meta announced that Facebook and Instagram users in Canada will be blocked from viewing Canadian news. That announcement came after Ottawa passed a bill requiring digital giants to pay for such content. Google, another critic of the Online News Act, has previously said that it is considering a similar move. The two Silicon Valley giants have pushed back against the bill, which aims to support a struggling Canadian news sector that has seen hundreds of publications closed in the last decade. Canadian Heritage Minister Pablo Rodriguez tweeted calling the news exciting after the bill passed a final hurdle in the Senate on its way to becoming law. Malaysian authorities said that they will take legal action against Facebook parent company Meta Platforms for failing to remove undesirable content on the social media platform. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission pointed that Facebook has recently seen a significant volume of undesirable content. The content is related to race, royalty, religion, defamation, impersonation, online gambling, and scam advertisements. Meta did not immediately respond to the request for comment. The Commission also said that the legal action is necessary to promote accountability for cybersecurity and enhancing consumer protection. A research has estimated that cases of the people suffering from diabetes is likely to double in less than 3 decades. It says that the number of people suffering from diabetes worldwide is likely to go up to 1.3 billion by 2050. The study has been published in the Lancet journal and is based on a comprehensive analysis of global data. As per this research, 3/4 of adults with diabetes would be living in low and middle-income countries by 2045. But even looking at wealthy nations like the United States, the risk of diabetes is always higher among the minorities. Right-wing presidential candidate Zuri Rios, daughter of late Guatemalan dictator, has pledged to crack down on violence to win the 25th June presidential election. The pledge comes even after the polls point no candidate will secure enough votes to win outright. Rios has brought in the issue of restoring the death penalty during the electoral campaign. She has even pledged to bar from public offices those sentenced for corruption. Guatemala holds on Sunday a presidential election with voters clamoring for a government that can tackle corruption, inflation and violence. Polling points to a close contest between former First Lady Sandra Torres, the conservative career diplomat Edmund Mullet, and Rios. Thousands of supporters filled Athens' main Syntagma Square on Thursday for a rally by Greek leftist leader Alexis Tsipras ahead of the national elections on Sunday. Supporters waved party flags and cheered as Tsipras took to the podium, but some worried about the results of the Sunday vote. Tsipras heads into a second round with a former Prime Minister and Conservative New Democracy Party leader after an inconclusive vote on the 21st of May. Conservatives are appearing to win the repeat election on Sunday. Tsipras said dominance by the New Democracy Party in Parliament would create an uncontrolled regime. Taking stock of the economic situation and spiraling inflation in the country, the United Kingdom and Turkey have hiked key interest rates. The Bank of England lifted its key interest rate by a half point to 5%, while Turkey has hiked the interest rate to 15% from 8.5%, lobbing an interest rate grenade at Britain's inflation problem with a big rate hike. The Bank of England raised interest rates by a bigger than expected 0.5 percentage point. The Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee voted 7-2 to raise its main interest rate to 5% from 4.5%, its highest since 2008 and its largest rate increase since February. In a significant development, the United States and India have reached an agreement to resolve 6 ongoing disputes at the World Trade Organization. This decision was announced after a crucial meeting between US President Joe Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. As part of the agreement, India has also agreed to lift retaliatory tariffs on specific American products such as chickpeas and lentils. This move is expected to promote greater trade cooperation and strengthen bilateral relations between the two nations. In a legal battle over Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, the US Federal Trade Commission is seeking a preliminary injunction to temporarily block the $69 billion merger. The FTC argues that the deal could harm competition in various gaming markets, giving Microsoft's Xbox console exclusive access to Activision games and leaving Nintendo and Sony's PlayStation at a disadvantage. Microsoft contends that the merger would benefit gamers and has offered a legally binding consent decree to provide Activision's games to rivals for a decade. The evidentiary hearing, scheduled to last 5 days, includes testimonies from top executives. Once a busy coal plant, the Komati Power Plant in South Africa is now earmarked to be repurposed as a wind and solar power plant. The plant will have batteries to store the energy the clean power generates. The Komati plant's repurposing is a pilot project that will hopefully show the way for South Africa and the rest of the developing world's transition to clean energy away from fossil fuels. The World Bank has provided a loan of $490 million for the plant's repurposing. The work related to repurposing the plant is yet to gather steam, with estimations that this may take up to 5 years. The Atlanta Art Gallery, Buckhead Art and Company, is displaying a collection of art by contemporary Ukrainian artists. A representative who worked with the artists talked about how the artists overcame the horrors of war by creating canvases that depict beauty rather than dread. The exhibition features 30 works by contemporary Ukrainian artists.